Now, I know I'm not the first to do an Iceberg video for YouTube, as I've found two so far, but those were made years ago. Plus, there are some things I could add, and I want to show things that haven't been in other icebergs before. Anyway, I'm going to spoil several series, so please be aware before we continue. I'm going to spoil a bunch of the game. You're not going to turn back? Okay, let's go.
Yu-Gi-Oh! Deluxe Monster Action Figures have arrived. Summon the Blue Eyes Ultimate Dragon, or even the unstoppable force of Exodia, the Forbidden One.
Exodia!
And now you can also build the excitement with the new Yu-Gi-Oh! Model Kits. Will you put your skills to the test and have enough to conquer the Red Eyes Black Metal Dragon? Yu-Gi-Oh! Deluxe Action Figures and Model Kits, each sold separately. You put them together.
Level 1. Duel Links. It's an app for players to play Yu-Gi-Oh! Online in a simplified game style. I know people who play it, but I haven't played it myself, so I can't comment. The Abridged series. The legendary series that was banned several times over from YouTube. Really, a lot of the fandom memes come from it. It is quoted whenever the series comes up and is just iconic to just internet culture. Memes. All the fucking memes. All the OG series game and the Abridged series as mentioned above. Yu-Gi-Oh! Is a massive cornerstone of memes. Motorcycles, the rules, my card has more attacks, anime cringe, scrubs, pot of greed, all here. We'll talk about specifics later down here though, because some get more interesting and some very distinct. GX Season 4. Timeline. The timeline is wonky as fuck, and anyone would tell you that. Well, I assume the first three are the only ones in the same timeline. Others assume all of them are in one massive timeline with diverging points. It's a mess. Just watch this video here because it explains some of it, but not great. Heart the cards. The power of drawing cards whenever you need them for the effect you specifically need. This is often used in the anime to just get to plot points. You know how it is. Pot of Greed. As explained above, Pot of Greed is one of the memes where people ask, oh, what does Pot of Greed do? Draw two cards, and a bunch of the bullshit they make up. Basically, Pot of Greed is the most simple card in the game aside from Monster Reborn, but has been banned for years, which is a shame. I'd say it should come off the ban list at some point. Censorship. A lot of cards have had their original art censored in the TCG for violence and boobies. Though in recent years this has been changed as a Lost Art Collection has released these original artwork in the TCG slowly. 3,222 card deck. This is the reason the 60 to 40 card deck limit is in place for the main deck. In 2008, some German judges brought this big deck to a tournament to highlight the fact that the rule did not exist and was simply just good fate that you didn't have a deck of 100 cards. The deck was difficult to shuffle and was a stall deck, meaning it had effects specifically to force you to draw or shuffle a deck, which in this case stalled the game. The rule of 60 to 40 cards came immediately after this and has stuck ever since. Modern Yu-Gi-Oh! Modern Yu-Gi-Oh! Basically refers to the fact that every few years people start saying that Yu-Gi-Oh! Is dead or the meta is dominated by a tier 0 deck, making the game boring or impossible. Could also refer to the fact that no new mechanics or direct tie-in anime is out, and the last time there's a big shake-up was Master Rule 5, I believe, back in 2017, sorry, and the changes in 2022 for special summoning, and that's about it. There's been no new summoning mechanic. Upper Deck. The company that makes Yu-Gi-Oh! Cards until 2011. They got into conflict with Konami for making more money than their deal allowed and keeping it under wraps. They stopped producing cards after that point, with Konami taking over direct card distribution, and I don't know the rest, I'm just going to move on from here. 4Kids. 4Kids were the dubbing company and distribution in the West for Yu-Gi-Oh! In 2011, Konami determined their contract and the rights to Yu-Gi-Oh! Went to Bandai and Saban Entertainment after the 41st episode of Zexal. However, 4Kids would reform and dub the later series after Zexal, and to my knowledge they're still around some way. The Shadow Realm. This is a realm meant to substitute for Debt in the 4Kids dub. characters would go to the Shadow Realm and not die. It's sort of come to be more liked than killing characters, as the Shadow Realm just puts them on a bus that can bring them back when needed. Like Bandit Keith, or if GX Season 4 was dubbed, I imagine Zane. Oda. So if you've been to an event full of men or any group of people in cosplay or in an event like Yugioh, you know the smell. And this is actually addressed in Yu-Gi-Oh! Tournament guides, requiring people to put on deodorant. Yes, the official rulebook reminds you to wear deodorant and be hygienic. I'm not making this shit up. The creator passed away. The creator of Yu-Gi-Oh!, Kazuki Takahashi, passed away July 4, 2022. He saw two people drowning and went to save them. He did, but he was caught in the tides and drowned later. The two people he helped save survived. His body was recovered 2 days later and he was laid to rest shortly after. May he rest in peace.
It's time to duel! New from the world of Yu-Gi-Oh! Comes Launcher Spider. Program it to stomp, march, and shoot missiles at your toughest opponents. With Launcher Spider at your side, dueling will never be the same. Are you ready to duel? Launcher Spider vehicle, you put it together, figures and batteries not included.
Layer 2. Genocide in every show. In every show there is some form of genocide. From Atlantis to the Dual Realm, Alternate Futures, Baryon War, Duelist Dimension, and the AIs. Really fucked up when you think about it, isn't it? Real Duel Terminal. There was a real duel terminal in the early 2010s at several different places that could give you cards and looked cool. Not gonna lie, I remember watching a video of this on YouTube years ago and being obsessed with it as a child. I would buy one if I had a place of my own to keep it or the money, because it looks so cool. Old card layouts. The original card layout in the OCG is quite different, being this before it became this. To my knowledge, these are still legal to use, and are just strange. Mismatched pendulums. So because pendulums have 2 scales on either side, people assumed that meant there would be a mismatched scales for left and right, where you could swap them in and out, or use them in different combinations. This hasn't happened yet, though some are still holding out hope. And it's strange they never did this, because this would have been a really fun change of a mechanic. Arc V production. The production of Arc V was heavily fucked up due to the Dark Side Dimensions coming out, leading to a bunch being changed and a lot of stuff just being repeated. You know, like some of the scripts, like, yes, it doesn't deal damage, but you still... Actually, no, it's... You don't lose the card, but you get life point reduction, I think. Create a card. In 2020, Konami set up a credit card for fans to vote on an archetype to get a new card. The vote had to be changed due to tampering near the end, resulting in Valkyries winning with bots. A new vote was carried out, resulting in Insectors winning and getting a new card. Also, several cards were made for contests like these, such as Performapal Trump Witch, which has seen the most use, I believe, out of any of these cards, being actively used in Arc V. And I know several rogue decks that play it just for poly. Pain96. The Justin Y of YouTube comments. In the comments section of a lot of YouTube videos, you'll find him waiting for good volcanic support. Not just that weird raw volcanic card shit that came out a while ago. He's been like this for nearly 5 or 6 years now. Hate to say you may never receive good support, but like me waiting for windups, your love will never stop. Except, currently a new volcanic card has been released, I believe. I don't know if it's good or not, but you did it, man. Congratulations. I hope you're happy. Dual Terminal World Legacy. A massive multi-year arc told over several archetypes from the 5Ds until Arc V era of Yu-Gi-Oh! So like nearly a decade or so. There have been others like this, but this is the longest and most iconic, stretching across several archetypes, ending the world at several points, and just being the biggest, most dense. Also, characters like Geiger Gecko and some other stuff have stories with current biggest in the game being Albanaz at the moment, with those cards being meta relevant. I need to read it myself, but they all seem relatively cool. Like, I think I prefer wind-ups, even though they have barely a story, I just like them. I like the deck. Give support for wind-ups, Konami, you sons of bitches. 4Kids versus Konami. Basically the same as the one in the last layer. Konami would buy out 4Kids and use them to manage their properties in Western markets. You know, running the release of 4Kids to dub, I think, Lynx, yeah, the last one. Zork Dick. So here's some hard-hitting facts. Anime are usually meant to promote manga and are made to be released every other week before the manga in some cases, due to them overlapping with the manga. Now this has changed, but in the early 2000s, when Yu-Gi-Oh! Was coming out, this was in effect, and a lot of filler was put into anime, like Naruto. So Zork's design in the anime looks like this, with a big dragon dick. A lackluster look. The manga design actually looks cool. Like, look at this shit, this is beautiful. This is like Berserk level. If it was in Berserk, it would be one of the best characters. Yatta lock. This is a strategy to lock your opponent out by getting them to discard all cards from their hands and summon Yatta Garasu to deny your opponent drawing any cards. This led to it being banned, only now being limited because it's kind of redundant. Also in video games, if you do this properly, the AI will just surrender. Like, it won't put up a fight, it'll just kill itself. Magic to spell. Originally spell cards were called magic cards. This was changed due to Magic the Gathering having cards called this, so they changed it to spell to avoid it. Bonus fact, when the copycat player who has Yugi's deck in GX is playing with it, he doesn't refer to the spell cards as spells, but magic, which I always liked, and I've always appreciated the fact they snuck that in there for a two-parter. Banned for confusion. Pole position was banned due to confusing wording, and that's the only reason it's banned, really. It's not special anyway, it's just very poorly worded and strange. Like, it's just awkward to play. Super Fusion God, Poison Butterfly, and Tamaya/Fire Knight. These are cards that are talked about in the anime or shown to us in the credits, like the Fire Dragon and GX, but just don't exist. We don't know what their effects would be like, and we may never receive them as actual cards. I hope we at least get Fire Dragon, because like the chemical archetype has always been intriguing to me, and I wouldn't mind to see like a proper support for it. The rest I don't think we'll see in any sort of way, but it's fun to speculate.
A GX force is gathering, mighty monsters that can make or break a battle. And the more you got, the stronger you get. Now you can add unstoppable strength to your collection with the strike of Neos. Yu-Gi-Oh! Booster Pack available now.
Yu-Gi-Oh's Jack Atlas is back, and he's brought your favorite monsters, like the Starlight Red Dragon Archfiend and Blackluster Soldier Super Soldier. Unleash chaos with Dimension of Chaos. 9 cards per pack, each pack sold separately.
Layer 3. Italian GX opening. The Italian GX opening was entirely unique to Italy, not using the 4Kids or original opening, but something original. Will there be a distinction enough for an entry? There was also a murderer who signed the opening as he was being arrested. It led to the GX opening being used in an Italian crime show. I'm not making this shit up. I wish I was. Missing support cards. These are cards that refer to cards that don't exist, such as Necros refers to Necros traps that don't exist. You know, stuff like that. Or Eldritch monsters. UDE Silvori Calcos. This is a card with the famous Take Your Soul If You Lose on it, but it's actually real. It is handed out to several members of Upper Deck Management. Some could be floating around somewhere, or they could be returned and destroyed. Or they never existed. Weird prize cards. These were handed out as Japanese tournament winners with their faces added to several cards. Well, they were thought of as non-legal. No one knows for sure, and they look just kind of creepy. Infinity Cheaters. This is about Infinity players who dump all their hands to use their effects and pick them up before the other player can see them. That, they discarded cards they shouldn't. You still see this every now and again, but I just want to point this out. Literally useless cards. These are cards that are useless to the point where they don't have any use at all. It doesn't extend to certain cards like Foolish Burial or Tomb Wolves, as they could have a plus to other cards. No, they just don't do anything, or they hurt you. Like Boar Soldier. Who the fuck would play Boar Soldier? I don't see any of them doing a hamburger with him. Reaper of Card stats. So Reaper of Cards is a very strange attack and defense, along with several other cards used by Panic in the anime and in real life. I don't know why they did this, or why no one could make a rogue strategy for this. Like, playing into a game like this would be a bitch, and would just be annoying. Like, stack this Zodia and like one tier 0 deck together and you make like the most horrible combination imaginable. Bandai card game. Bandai made a version of Yu-Gi-Oh! Before the original game. They are unique and have slightly different rules than the actual game, and look very unique. Chivalroid. This is a card used by Cyrus in the GX manga that has never crossed into the TCG, even though the OCG has it. It's strange this one has never come into the TCG, since it's not a game breaker or anything. It's a Roid card. It's not going to do shit. This is going to come back later, because there are others from the GX era that never came in. So remember this. Battle City 2. This was shown only in the final episode of GX on a piece of paper Jaden picked up. Yugi won this as well, like the original tournament. So, King of Games. Alco and Proto. These were two characters who were told to us in previews to Zexal episodes that never showed up. Though we know their functions, Alco would have been an observer of the Barian War, unaffiliated, who Kite went to get an answer on how to end the war. We know fuck all about Proto. Like, it's really hard to imagine these coming in, and just what they would have been like. But they were replaced with a Kite duel on the moon, so, we got something out of it. Tokyo Dome Riot. This was a riot that occurred at Tokyo Dome in 1999 over an exclusive pack at a tournament to any entries. Also ran like Duelist Kingdom with star chips. It's one of those big moments in the early franchise that I think a video has been done on at some point. I'll link it down below if I can, if I find it. Kaiba broke into the afterlife. So at the end of Dark Side Dimensions, Kaiba travelled somewhere to fight Yami. Now this means either Kaiba is dead, or Kaiba built a machine to go to the afterlife to fight Yami in a children's card game. Kaiba's a bitch. Dramatic Crossroads. So if you know memes, or have seen memes, you know this image. It's actually a Yu-Gi-Oh card. It's from GX when Chaz is dueling Alexis in a duel for her love. It's a major plot point, shut up. This image has been used for memes of multiple choices, like one good and one bad. Few know of its origins, and I don't think it's actually been printed in any format of the game, which is a shame. But I can imagine when it does, it'll be a massive thing. Like, this is going to be 50 plus when it comes out. YCS Pittsburgh 2017. So this was a stranglehold format for Zodiac. I'm still bitter. Fuck dudes. They made up 29 out of the top 30 decks at a championship. So, fuck them. Zexal lost dub. So when 4Kids lost the license to dub Yu-Gi-Oh!, Konami went to Boom Studio to make a dub. Several episodes were dubbed before 4Kids restructured and got the license back. Some clips of this dub have come out, though research at your own risk. Also, Johnny Young Bosch was involved, sorry. The Power Ranger. Hellboy Yu-Gi-Oh! Connection. So Kazuki Takahashi is a fan of Western comics like Hellboy, and he and Hellboy's creators sent each other's artworks of each other's characters. So cool, and I wish something like this would happen with Hero Academia and some other company doing it. Like Marvel or DC. That'd be really fun. Divine Ignis. As there are other Ignises for other archetypes, people have speculated one for the divine attribute exists. This is unlikely, but it's fun to imagine. The original Reigns ending. So at the end of Reigns, a vision occurs that shows a destroyed Earth at the very start of the series. This is going to be the actual ending with the AIs destroying the world. It was changed very early, as you may have noticed, but fuck.
More grit, more glory, more fight, more might, more ultra rares, more power to spare. Now you can multiply the might of any Yu-Gi-Oh deck with Phantom Darkness, the ultimate evil of the GX era, where sinister monsters form a
Therefore, obscure card types. These are card combinations that are just strange together, like a water dinosaur. Also goes to stuff like Question and other strange card effects that are just very unique. Millennium Thousand Eye Virus. This is a card that was teased at one point in a leak, but never came out. It's unknown what this would have been like, aside from maybe being a hybrid of Millennium Eyes and Card Crush Virus. So, terrifying. Elemental Hero Air Neos. For some reason, this Neos card has not been reprinted in nearly a decade and a half at this point, so 15 years. As well as it's being removed from artwork with the other Neos fusions, so clearly it's intentional. It could be the artist withdrew the rights to the card, an Italian aeroplane company having some legal issues, or maybe Konami just doesn't want to bring it back. I'm honestly surprised there's been no attempt to bring it back, nor any sort of mass culture movement to bring it back. I just need to go international, it needs to go meme status. Bring back Air Neos. All summoning mechanics have a tier 0. This is self-explanatory. Chaos or Monarchs for effect cards, Teledarts for synchros, Necros for rituals, Pendulum Pepe, Zoo for XYZ, Spirals for links, and Tierland for fusions. Wouldn't mind seeing a turn of these at full power, only played against Spiral and Necros and none of the other stuff, and I know there's others as well, but these were the most popular I could think of. If you have any more, comment down below of which ones are tier 0 in your eyes. Roma Sophie Cult. This was a cult Carly's actor in 5Ds was involved with, that abused its members, and was just seems cruel, to be honest. In Japan there are stronger laws against these sort of cults, so it was shut down. Due to her association with the cult, Carly was let go, resulting in a plot along with other plots involving cults getting removed from the show, messing with later parts of the show, and leading to a massive change in seasons 1 to season 2 and 3. I believe that's how it's put. I think so. Laugh attribute. This is used for this card. It has only been used on a single token that isn't canon but has its own text, so yeah. I can't wait for the Lost Art dub with this. I will buy this when it comes out. 12,000 life points and Ancient Leaf buyout. This is a failed buyout and leak. Some people actually thought life points would be 12,000. So people tried to buy Ancient Leaf for some extra draw power. Didn't work, but funny to look at. Permanent Death and GX dub. So a lot of characters die in the dub. Viper dies in the dub, just going over the edge. He's not in the Shadow Realm, he doesn't come back. Like in Japan, he's dead. Same with Titan, same with a bunch. In Season 4 GX, Zane would have come back, but in the dub, he just dies. Like, he just dead. Darkness predicted the future. So this is a theory that Darkness predicted the futures of 5Ds, Zexal, Arc-V, and possibly Vrains, and the apocalypses that all follow them. For 5D, unnatural occurrences for Zero Reversal. Zexal, a card making the world and disputes leading to war that's endless. Arc-V, terrorism, and for Vrains, storms, possibly referring to the digital storms or the planned ending. Possibly, or maybe they're referring to the world and its state in 2007 when GX is coming out. Still, it's creepy either way. Like, it's not inaccurate, it's there. I don't think it's intentional, but it's still disturbing to think about. So, for something a bit lighter, because I don't want this to be a negative ending video, I'm going to add one final entry, one which is conspicuously absent if you've noticed so far. Tyler the Great Warrior sells for $31,211. So, Tyler the Great Warrior was a card made for someone with cancer. It's a legend well known, it's one of the few creator-made cards I mentioned above by someone who, wants it from Make-A-Wish. So, recently Tyler the Great Warrior was sold so that the actual Tyler could start a business and provide for his family. And, it's really surprising because it's this legend coming to an end. It's gone. I always assumed Tyler the Great Warrior is just like a one-off card legend, the funness of the game, but no, I went on to do some good. Like, I know people call this a children's card game, and it is, and it's stupid, and it's full of crap, but there are some good moments like this. Like, it's honestly amazing that there can be stuff like this in the world. Good for you, mate. Good for you and your money. I hope you're happy. I don't know what to say. It's just, yeah.
It's time! Only in July, exclusively at Blockbuster. Get free collectible Yu-Gi-Oh! Stickers from Sandy Lion. No purchase required. Collect all 4. Offer good for a limited time while supplies last. Visit your neighborhood Blockbuster store for more details. Visit Yugioh.com or FreeVibe.com to see a new video featuring the cast of Yu-Gi-Oh! Battling a different kind of monster. It's your move. The National Youth Anti-Drug Media Campaign.
Right, so that's the end of the Iceberg. There's nothing really else to say. That's the end. If there is anything which you think should have been added, just comment below. I don't think there was. I think I've added as much as I want to do. I'm not sure if I'll do other icebergs. I know years ago I started Transformers one, but that's crap. I might do just the stuff, Pigpen, the guy who did the trilogy of them, the stuff he never covered, because there's some. I got the books from James Roberts that basically detail More Meets the Eyes behind the scenes. I wouldn't mind to do a video on that, or what could have been for some franchises, because it's fairly interesting. Or just do something else. Next video script I think will be Clerks, the Kevin Smith film, because I just want to do something a bit more professional. This is my magnum opus in terms of YouTube content. This is going to be the end. I'm going to focus on my media studies, so goodbye. This is the end. Thanks for the journey. Thanks for no comments for the last 3 years. Abiento.